Erin.
And I'm Katie.
And you are listening to Ropedrop and Parkhop.
Hi, friends.
Hi.
Hiya, pals.
Hiya, pals. No.
No, not quite. Don't try Goofy either, please.
Gosh. I can't do anything more than that. Gosh. Okay, let's start with our review.
Let's do it.
Lisa Pratt wrote a review for us in January. We're almost a year out from where we're reading.
Yes.
Which is wild. But
yes.
Okay.
We're going to keep going.
We're going to keep going.
Because you guys are awesome.
You are. And we love all of these reviews so much.
Amazing.
So this one's from last January. Must listen for upcoming trip. My family had an upcoming trip to Disneyland over the holidays and found this podcast so helpful in planning. I especially loved the food episodes and took notes on where to go for what. Thanks, ladies, for sharing your knowledge in such a fun way with us. You're welcome.
Our pleasure.
We just really like to eat.
We do. It's all about the food, right? We've done the rides already. We've done them all. So we got to try all the food.
Speaking of food, there's lots of good Halloween food right now. Katie, we can totally talk about it.
Oh, that's true. Because
it's safe. Katie did something impulsive, just like Erin did something impulsive a couple weeks ago.
So one of our awesome listeners reached out to us and had a couple of Oogie Boogie Bash tickets that she could not use this coming Thursday. So as you're listening to this, I am hungover from Oogie Boogie Bash because I decided to take advantage, and I am going to surprise my little Jack, and we're going down just for the party.
Just for the day.
Flying back the next morning because he's got a football game. But it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited because I was so sad to miss out on this year's party. It's one of my favorite things at Disneyland ever. So I'm excited. Yay!
I know. I'm so glad it worked out for you guys. And he's going to be so excited. When I was talking to him yesterday, I had to remember he didn't know.
Right. Yeah, I've had a hard time not pre-planning with him.
Right.
And being like, what rides do you want to do for sure?
Right.
And what should our priorities be? I guess we'll talk about that on the plane ride over.
Right. So you leave Thursday morning and you come back Friday morning.
Yep.
Quick trip,
but it'll be awesome.
You guys will get to hear about it next week.
Yeah.
And that makes us happy because neither of us had plans to go to Oogie Boogie this year.
Right.
And we have somebody going.
This was a fun surprise.
I know. So Jack, if you're listening to this on Friday, hope you had fun.
Yay. He did. I'm sure.
I'm sure, too. I'm sure he'll just have a great time.
So fun. Okay. What else?
News.
We got lots of news.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be one of those news-heavy episodes because you guys know how it works around here. We recorded last Monday and Tuesday morning. Big, huge, heavy news from the Disneyland Resort. Lots and lots of price increases. So we're going to break that down in our episode today. That's kind of just what we're going to focus on. But let's talk about the other news first.
Sure. Okay, number one. The Matterhorn is back open.
Yay! Chiropractors everywhere. Rejoice.
No, they don't because people will go to Disneyland instead of going to their chiropractor.
What if it misaligns you, though?
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, go get your Matterhorn adjustment again.
Or your Matterhorn
disadjustment. Make sure you take your ibuprofen with you.
Right. And here's the tip on the Matterhorn. Just be loose.
That's right.
Don't be tense. Be loose. That's my tip for everything.
Yeah. Hang loose. Erin is a surfer girl at heart.
In life, guys, just be loose. Just relax.
All right. So the Matterhorn's back open. It's been closed for months, right? It's been closed for a long time. So
yeah. You know what I missed when I was there in September that I noticed? No sounds.
Right. None of the the wind sounds or the water sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, dear Disney, next time you close the Matterhorn down for refurbishment, just keep the sounds. Because you're walking past a big mountain. It's not like it's not there.
Right.
Keep the whooshing sounds and the occasional growling.
Keep the atmosphere.
Right.
And then November 16th, we mentioned this last week that DCA is closing early to regular park goers, but now we know that it is a cast member event happening and it closes at 5 p.m.
Yes,
so
and thank you so much to Lynn from the Sweep Spot for letting us know that's what it is. They do these every year where they honor cast members who have been with the Disney company for a certain period of time. And so that'll be a fun little recognition party for people celebrating 10-year, 20-year, 30 anniversaries at the Disneyland Resort.
And I'm glad they do that.
I do too.
Very cool. But if you have a trip coming up that week, just know that you will be kicked out of DCA at 5 p.m.
Unless you've worked for Disneyland for 10 or more years.
Right. And then magic bands, guys. We're finally getting them. It's exciting.
And not.
then also
So they were announced they're coming next week.
October 26th is the official day for everyone. They're actually doing kind of a preview of Magic Bands this week for cast members and Magic key holders. They can get a hold of those this week and try them out.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And then cast members actually already got to try them out with the World of Color show. And I saw some pictures of that. It looked pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit before we pushed record today about this, and let's just discuss it. Let's discuss some benefits and some cons.
Okay.
So first of all, $35 a piece.
Right.
Which is an investment if you have a larger family or, you're taking a group of people.
Right.
One person, not a big, huge deal. 5 people, a bigger deal.
Right. But they do scan you into the parks, which is nice. And I was saying this before we started, but when you have little kids and you don't really trust them to hold their own paper ticket, it's kind of nice for them to have something that's attached to them that lets them scan in, where you don't have to scan them in with your phone and try and swipe through everybody's tickets.
Right, because we as the moms know that that's what it is. We block the way for a minute and we try to get... When we went last year with our friends and there were 10 of us, I was in charge of the tickets. And as we were in line, I'd pull up the tickets and I'd go through them really quickly and everyone would line up in order.
Yeah,
so that
like ducklings.
Yes.
And then you heard them through.
And then we heard them through and it's me scanning through all the tickets. It would have been lovely for everybody to have a wristband that they could just scan as they walked by, and I didn't have to be the one lining everybody up. So that's definitely
exciting.
a perk.
Have you noticed that they have the Magic Band pucks already at the entrance? Because I have never noticed those.
You should know this about me by now.
You don't notice things.
I do not pay attention to details.
I will say for sure last time I was there, I did not notice a Magic Band scanning place. So I'm wondering if they will have just a mobile thing.
Maybe.
Like how they scan your tickets on your phone.
That they'll just tap to your phone or tap it to their little tablet. Maybe. I don't know. You're going in just a couple days.
I know. I will keep my eyes open.
Keep your eyes peeled.
And for now, the functionality only exists for scanning into the parks and using it for your lightning lanes.
And then the fun little light up things.
Right. And then the light up shows. You won't be able to use them to get into your hotel room like you can at Disney World. And you won't be able to use them for purchases like you can at Disney World. And what else?
We talked a little bit about photos. So at Walt Disney World with Magic Bands that have been there forever and ever, when you get off an attraction and you Splash Mountain and you want your photo, you just tap your Magic Band to the puck underneath the photo and it registers it to your account. I don't think I noticed any of those availability.
No, I haven't seen those scanners yet either.
But check for those too when you're there.
I will.
So also talking about Fast Passes, Genie Plus, we don't call it Fast Pass anymore. Genie Plus. Same benefit, right? There's always, if you have used Genie Plus at all, you know that there is always a bottleneck. People, one person from the party is trying to scan while the other 5 people are gathered around them, blocking the way.
Right.
And it's kind of a pain in the butt.
It is. And there are a lot of people that try to go too early, and so they're blocking the way. And then there are people that actually didn't pull a lightning lane that are trying to get through. And so, yeah, it's always a bottleneck. Even if there's multiple scanners, it's hard.
And I was going to say, especially at this particular attraction, but as I think about it, like every single attraction that has lightning lane access, those lightning lane scanners are always just a traffic jam.
Right. And so I think people walk up and they see the lightning lane and they think, how is this possibly the lightning lane? It's out the door. But really, once you get past those scanners, that's when the line
goes
shorter.
Real quick. Yep. So this will make that easier too, because again, as moms, we know that we're the ones in charge of that, and we're the ones standing there with our 5 people gathered around us, and everyone can just walk through and tap their wristband on the puck as they walk through, and hopefully that will alleviate some of that bottlenecking.
I think so too. I think the only downside I can see to that is keeping your party together is a little bit difficult when you're scanning individually.
Yeah.
Because you'll scan and go through, and then someone at another scanner in a different party could scan and go through in between your party.
Oh, yeah, that's probably...
So I guess you just scan, go through, and wait.
That's a good idea.
For your party
just pay
to catch
attention.
up.
Yeah. Which we do that anyway.
Or you can ride with strangers if you don't like your family.
Which we do that too.
Yes.
So obviously there's some benefits to it. However, the flip side of that coin is it's not necessary.
No, it's not necessary at Disney World either.
Right.
It's just
there are some perks. There are some perks that are available at Walt Disney World that I think
make it worth it.
Make it not necessary, but make it... So, for example, I always use this. Haunted Mansion. There is one picture that is taken in the Haunted Mansion. There's not a screen when you come out for you to grab the code and register it.
Right.
It's just a random picture. And they pick up the RFID on your wristband, and that's how it's added to your account in the attraction. And so there's a couple of things like that at Walt Disney World, like little special extras that you get for having the wristband that I don't think are available at Disneyland.
At least not now.
Maybe eventually.
They keep saying there's more functionality coming in the future.
And that's the other thing. Let's talk about that. Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. They're going to have the Bounty Hunter, and they've unveiled that. So there's a game that can be played back in Galaxy's Edge. If you're big Star Wars fans, it might be worth it to you to go back and be able to do that.
Sure.
It's ready. It's up and running.
And it's been going at Disney World already, I just found out, which I didn't know before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it sounds like it's a cool little game. And adds a little bit more excitement to Galaxy's Edge. I know people have been a little bit sad that Avengers Campus has gotten all the love with, characters and all of that. So it'd be nice to have a little bit more stuff at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. So there's reasons to get it, but if you don't want to get it, if you feel like it's just an extra money grab or, an extra way for you to spend money and blow your budget, you don't have to do it. You can totally use your phone for those same things.
Yep. Some of the designs are really cute, though, on those magic bands. It's just some extra bling for your wrist, right?
Yes. And we were looking because we're headed, we talked about this last week, we're headed to Walt Disney World in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I was looking. There's some really cute ones over there, too.
Super cute.
And they work on both coasts. So if you have plans to go to Walt Disney World and Disneyland in a certain period of time, know that they work on both coasts. You can get one and use it either place. It's connected to you. They're rechargeable. Do they have time? I don't think they do.
I don't think so. I think
I wish they had that.
just a light up puck that's in there.
I wish they had like watch and step capability, because that would kind
That
of
would
make
be
it
fun.
Yeah, Dear Disney.
Dear Disney.
Again. But let's put a watch in there instead of that light up puck. Maybe we could have a light up background or something.
Sure.
And then have a time and a pedometer.
I like it.
I would totally be for it then, but otherwise maybe I would skip it.
So with the release of these magic bands now, there are rumors that they will be getting rid of paper tickets altogether at Disneyland.
Which kind of makes me sad because those are fun souvenirs, especially for kids.
Yeah, I mean, those paper tickets are not super, what's the word I'm looking for? Sturdy?
Right. Environmentally friendly.
Yeah. And then,
really quick too.
Yeah.
While we mentioned that annual pass magic key holders are testing everything out this week, and we actually had a couple people reach out to us throughout the course of this week and ask why we decided not to renew our magic keys.
Oh, yeah. And we kind of, mentioned it a little bit last week, but we didn't have plans to go anytime in the near future. And so it didn't make sense to drop that big chunk of change with no trip in sight. And so we will probably wait until they offer them for sale again and then reassess.
And hopefully,
if it's worth it.
I imagine our next trip will be in the spring.
Probably.
Sometime.
Yep.
And hopefully by then we'll have the ability to purchase. And if not, I guess that's a risk we were willing to take. I don't know. So,
and for those of you that are new-ish to our podcast, we don't live in the area.
Right.
We live in Boise, Idaho, and so for us, it's not just a short drive to the parks. So it's a process for us to get there. So we don't get to get there as often as we'd like to, and as often as a magic key would make sense for all the time.
Yeah, and so it just didn't make sense to renew it if we're not going to use it for 6 months.
Right.
And anyway,
but never fear, we will.
It doesn't mean we're not going back. We were both quite sad about it. Mine expired yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mourning process, right? Yes.
And I know a lot of people actually are making the same choice we are.
Yeah.
And just hoping at some point that they're available again. But especially when you're not local, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
To sit on it. So anyway, to answer that question, we're down, but we're not out.
That's right.
Okay.
And then cast members get thrown a bone.
So last year, when everything reopened, there was huge uproar because cast members get certain perks for being cast members.
Right.
And they've always been able to get park entry for friends and family. They can sign people into the parks. But then last year they had to choose
between admission or Disney Plus.
Which
free Disney Plus for a year, which is not worth that much.
No, it's not. I think it was the whole package. So I think it was Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN.
Okay, but still.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
And I think it was admission for their people. I don't think it was their admission. I think it was extra bringing your friends and family. I think as a cast member, you can go in.
Okay, well, anyway, I think cast members are worth more than that.
Correct.
And apparently Disney agrees because they have brought back both perks for them. They can have both. They don't have to choose anymore.
Yay!
So we're excited for them. Yay, cast members. Enjoy your party on the 16th.
Win. My gosh.
That's so funny.
It is so funny. And it's so weird to me because it's a commodity that they have total access to.
Right.
And I always think that, like I'm a dental hygienist, right? And there are some offices that charge their hygienists for cleanings. And I'm like, right. And maybe give them a discount.
Okay.
My office is not like this. We can get our teeth cleaned for free. But it always blows my mind because it's like it's a commodity you have complete access to. Why would you not give that to your employee?
Right.
It's no skin off your teeth.
Yeah. I see what you did
Clever.
there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Fantasmic is coming back to Disney World. I know that's not Disneyland specific news, but it's a lot of people are excited about that.
Super excited. I haven't ever seen it. It wasn't there when we went. And it's a whole stadium.
Right. So it's in like an amphitheater on the water.
Okay.
I haven't actually seen it either.
Oh, you haven't?
No, because
that's on our deal.
I've heard that it's
not
as good as the one at Disneyland, and I think we just didn't want to take the time to go and see it. I've seen pictures of the Mark Twain riverboat, steamboat, whatever, that comes at the end of the show with all the characters
on it.
on it.
One?
Yeah, it looks like a cardboard cutout.
It probably is.
Yeah. Anyway, so we will go see it so we can compare, but I'm not as excited as the people on the East Coast are.
Okay, I'm excited though. We're going to have to make plans for that.
Okay.
Although I really love Epcot at night, so
that's at Hollywood Studios.
I know it is. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Like, how are we going to decide?
Right. I'm going to be like, maybe not. Maybe we just need to go to Epcot.
We got to go see Harmonious before it goes away too.
Oh yeah, the taco barges are leaving. Okay.
All right. I think that's it. Oh no, Festival of Holidays. They raised prices and then
that afternoon.
Yes, then they said, and this is what we're bringing for the Festival of Holidays, which is exactly the same as it's been every single year. But I love the Festival of Holidays. So
it was kind of funny. They announced all the price increases, and then later that day and the next day they announced Festival of Holidays offerings and Magic Band Plus. So it was kind of like they were throwing a bone.
Right. They were like, we raised your prices by $500, but here's what you get for that $500.
Exactly. Okay.
So all the food booths got announced, which they're super fun. I love the food booths. I love any of the food booths.
Right. Did they announce the menus?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I haven't looked at them. We'll do an episode on it.
I could be wrong. They at least announced which booths would be back, and there were a couple of new ones maybe, and then all of the entertainment that comes around that time of year.
Okay.
It's very magical. I hope that if you get a chance to, you can go to Disneyland for the holiday time because it is very special.
And Katie loves the parade.
I do. Go book yourself the tour so you can have special seating for the holiday parade.
All right.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Our podcast is brought to you by Mouse World Travel. Imagine going on the most stress-free, well-planned Disney vacation of your life. Now imagine you didn't pay anything extra for that personalized service. That's what you'll get when you use an authorized travel planner from Mouse World Travel to book your next Disney vacation. From resorts to cruises and everything in between, they are here to help you get the most out of your next family trip. Just go to mouseworldtravel.com, fill out a short request form, and make sure you mention our code Ropedrop so they know that we sent you. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the price increases. Just kind of give you a breakdown of what raised in price and maybe how it'll affect your next trip. And yeah, these all went into effect immediately. So it's not like they announced price increases are coming. It's we raised prices overnight.
You woke up on Tuesday morning last Tuesday, and we actually know Hannah Learning Disney was there, and she was really frustrated about it because she woke up and was getting ready to go rope drop and found out about the price increases, which impacted her because Genie Plus prices increased and things that she was doing, and she's a big budgeter. And so she said it kind of threw my budget off for the rest of the week because,
that's fewer churros.
Right. And let's give a little disclaimer here. I'm trying to think how I should say this. In the Disney community, if you follow Disney YouTubers, if you follow Disney Instagrammers,
any content creators,
sometimes I feel like we have a very we're a very cheerful crowd, mostly.
Because we're talking about our favorite place, right?
Right, which is the happiest place on earth. Right. And I think sometimes there's the push to be positive. And I'm not always happy with things that Disney does. And you don't have to be either. We can be unhappy about the same things or different things. It doesn't matter. I can see how this impacts a family vacation.
Absolutely.
All of these price increases, they're not huge, but this nickel and diming is a budget buster for some people.
Yeah, in the aggregate, it's quite a bit. It's, a few $100s or more added to your 3-4 day vacation that you have been planning and saving for.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't save that extra $400
and there
or
go your
$500.
goalposts. Your goalposts are moved now.
Yeah.
And so if you're upset about this, we get it.
Yeah.
We're super lucky because we get to go frequently. Not everybody does. We talk about it all the time. There are people listening who are planning their once-in-a-lifetime. And we have listeners in Australia who have reached out to us planning their once-in-a-lifetime trip. This affects them. This doesn't affect us as much, right?
Right.
It affects people who don't go like we do. And it makes me really sad for you guys. And so when I woke up Tuesday morning to all of these, I was just adding things in my head, what this would look like for a family vacation. And this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So if you're upset about it, we get it. We're here to give you the information. So since those goalposts have moved, you're able to adjust and pivot.
Yeah. Knowledge is power, right?
Right.
Like hopefully we can give you all the information that you need to still have a magical vacation. And again, like these extras are not necessary to have a good trip. Genie Plus is not necessary. It does make things go a little bit more smoothly. You may get more rides in.
And if you can budget for it, it is definitely something we'd recommend budgeting for.
Right. But you can still have an amazing trip. You can have an amazing trip without getting 10 churros per day.
Right. Right.
Or
I don't know. Can you?
I think so. I think you can bring your own food in from outside and still have a great time.
I don't know. I don't believe it.
And you can skip the character breakfast if that's out of your budget. And so, I mean, this is not a budgeting episode. We're not talking about that today. We're just going to give you the information and you can make decisions based on that.
And don't let anybody tell you that you need to be okay with it. That you need to be... You're not going to change it, right? But you can still be upset about it.
And Disney raises their prices every year. It's inevitable, right?
Right.
But this was just kind of a lot all at once, which they've never really done that before.
Like across the board, everything, which we're going to talk about.
Yes. So
okay.
Here we go.
So with that being said, here's your knowledge. Here's your power. Okay. Ticket prices. They added it. So with one-day tickets, one-day tickets kind of got hit hard.
Right.
Disney wants you to go for more than one day. They increased the price on one-day tickets and added, we've talked about the tiers of tickets before, which maybe we'll do another episode on this soon.
Yeah, because it's a little confusing.
It is.
Tiers.
There were tiers 1 through 6 prior to last week's price increase. They added a tier 0, which is so weird to me.
Yeah. What day is that? When is there ever a 0 day?
It's Tuesday in February. Like random, there's these few days. And that stayed the same price as what tier 1 was before.
Okay.
So tier 1 dropped down to tier 0. And then across the board, the rest of the tiers had a 6 to 10% price increase on one-day tickets. So across the board, they all increased up to tier 7, tier 6.
I think it's just, so there are 7 tiers, but it's 0 through 6.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
And so, really quickly, the tiers are just how busy they think a day is going to be.
Right. The busier the day, the more expensive the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And the higher the tier.
So Christmas Day is going to be a tier 6 day. New Year's Eve is going to be a tier 6 day.
Right.
Tuesday in February 6th is going to be a 0 or 1.
Maybe.
Probably.
That's like Valentine's Day. So they are doing festivals during that time too.
That's true.
So who knows?
Maybe,
I just really feel like there's no 0 days anymore.
There were some coming up. When I looked at the calendar for tickets, and there were some. In fact, let me just pull it up really quickly.
Okay.
When this all happened. So tier 0, January 10th of 2023. January 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. January 17th, 18th, 19th, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 31st. So there's quite a few days in January. That midweek are that tier 0, which is that starting price of $104. So that's the least expensive ticket you're going to get for a one-day ticket at Disneyland.
Right.
That's going to allow you to go into one park for that one day.
Yep. And if you buy that tier 0 ticket, you cannot go on a non-tier 0 day without paying an upcharge.
Correct. And actually, I don't even know if that's possible either. I don't, because reservations, you have to reserve in advance. You can't upgrade online. You can try calling, but from what I understand, they're not doing that. They'll refund you, but that takes several weeks to get your money back, and then you would buy a new ticket. So it's a rigmarole. So be sure you know what day you want to go before you purchase tickets, because
Or just go more than one day if you can.
right. So
'Cause that's easier.
tier one. So the tiers only apply to one-day tickets. Once you have multi-day tickets, they don't apply. There's not
Exactly.
different tier prices for multi-day tickets. But continuing on with the one-day tickets, they also increase the price of the park hopper. So if you go on that Wednesday in January, you pay $104 for your ticket, and you decide you want to visit both parks in that one day, you're going to pay $65 more for
The park hopper option.
yes.
Yep.
So that was another price increase right there.
Right. Although multi-day tickets are still only $60
To add the hopper.
on, which was what the previous price was.
Yes. So talking about multi-day tickets, the 2-day ticket had the highest increase. It was about 12%.
Sheesh.
Each of the rest of the tickets were about 9% increase.
Okay.
So to me, that just says Disney wants you to spend more days there.
Yeah.
Which, why wouldn't they?
Right,
You're going to buy more
right.
food. You're going to buy more souvenirs. You're going to be there spending more money if you're there more days. And like I said, the tiers don't matter here. Once you buy a multi-day ticket, those are good for any day of the week, any day of the year. You just have to use your full ticket within 13 days of your first use.
Yep.
So if you're planning on going for more than one day, you're going to spend more money but save money.
You got to
Does that
spend money
work?
to save money.
I guess.
Isn't that the saying?
And then the hopper is $60 in addition to a multi-day ticket. So that
Yes.
did not go up. So that's good news. Okay, moving along. Genie Plus.
Genie Plus.
Genie Plus was $20. It went up to $25.
Starting at $25. So they have
Starting.
they have reserved the right to raise the price on like surge pricing, like
Right,
Uber, right?
right.
So if it's an extremely busy day, they can raise the price a little bit. And they haven't set a cap on how high they
No.
can raise it.
So far, it's been $25 each
right,
day.
right. And
But-
it's been busy.
Yes.
So,
But also, it's $25 period if you purchase it in advance.
right.
So if you buy it with your tickets, if you're planning on buying Genie Plus and you buy it with your tickets, you will pay $25 per person per day ahead of time.
Right.
This is not an option at Walt Disney World.
No, you cannot buy it ahead at Disney World.
You have to buy a day up.
We are going to have an episode coming up about differences between Disney World and Disneyland as far as procedure goes. So we'll
Which
talk more about that.
You'll be
but-
surprised how many differences there are.
Yes, it's crazy.
So buying it ahead, $25 per person per day. Buying a day of starts at $25 with the possibility of it being more than that. Flip sides of the coin, buying it ahead, you cannot buy it per day. You have to buy it for the
Entire
entirety of your ticket. Yes. So if you have a 5-day ticket, you're buying it for all 5 days. Buying it in person allows you to pick and choose. So if you're there on that random Wednesday in January and it's not super busy, you don't have to spend the money to buy it.
Right.
But maybe you'd want it that Friday when it gets a little busier. So you kind of have to weigh those options and decide if you want it the whole time. Something to keep in mind, we've talked about before, Genie Plus does include your photo pass. So
Right.
we always recommend one person in your party. If you're there for a vacation, one person in your party purchasing it so that you get your ride photos.
Photo pass, photographer photos,
Yep.
all that good stuff. Yep.
Utilize that, and that's a $25, hopefully, for the
Right,
day.
right. And then Magic Key holders are still getting their 20% discount. So they are only paying $20.
So
like everyone else used to.
Everyone was super excited about 2 months ago when they announced this Magic Key discount on Genie Plus services. Everyone was like, oh, that's so cool, because it dropped it down to like $16.
Right.
And then they raised the price and we're back up at $20. So,
Hey, it's still a discount, I guess.
yeah,
And then individual lightning lanes
also increased.
also increased in price. So $25, Rise of the Resistance, and
Today, and Radiator Springs fluctuates. Today it's
Right.
$15.
Okay.
And Web Slingers is no longer an individual lightning lane. It is now included with your regular Genie Plus package.
And we knew that had to be coming eventually, right?
Right, because nobody likes it.
It just wasn't as popular as they thought that it was going to be.
It's fine.
It was fun. It was fun when it was new, right? It was new and exciting. And now it's kind of like, yeah, you can take it or leave it. But now it's included, so you don't have to pay extra for it.
So when we were there 3 weeks ago with Lyndon, when I was there with Lyndon a couple of weeks ago, I kept offering. Every time we walked by, I'm like, do you want to jump in line for Web Slinger? She's like, nope, let's go.
That's cute.
It's fine. It's fun. If you've never done it, you for sure should do it one time.
Yeah. Or if you have a Spidey fan in your family, like the pre-show is super cute.
Right. It is. The pre-show is super cute.
Yeah.
It wasn't a $20 ride though. Like it wasn't
No,
something to
it was
pay
hard
that
to
extra.
swallow that for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think it was very popular. I never really saw people getting into line for that. But good news, it's part of your Genie Plus now, so you can reserve that just using your regular old Genie Plus that went up $5.
There you go. And then Rise of the Resistance, like we mentioned, starts at $25 now.
It ends. The highest is 25.
It ends at 25.
But you're never going to see it lower than that.
Nope. It's never been lower than 20 since they introduced individual lightning lanes. So we assume that it will never be lower than 25.
Right. So that's just a $25 ride now. That one's such a hard one, too, because if it's a priority for your family, it's almost like one of those things that you should totally
Just budget
spring for.
it.
Yeah. Because it's a really hard, it's hard to get there at Ropedrop. It breaks down frequently. It's always got a really long line, and it's 100% worth getting in and experiencing it if you're a Star Wars fan, especially.
For sure. Yep.
So that's a tough one. That one was a tough one for me to swallow. I was like, 25 for that.
Yeah.
For my family of 5, that's $125 just to ride one attraction.
Yeah. That's like 2 meals right
That's
there.
like 6 churros.
5.5. Did churro prices increase? We didn't talk about this.
Let's look really quickly.
We might need to look.
Let's look. So the next thing, character dining also went up. We don't know how much because they don't ever post the menu or the pricing, the exact pricing online. It's always a range.
Right. Starting at.
Yes. But word on the street is those also went up. I'm going to pause and look at churros.
Okay.
Hold. Stand by. They went up a couple weeks ago, didn't they?
I feel like they did.
$5. So they went up like 25 cents.
They were $4.75 before.
Yeah, they went up like 25 cents probably about a month ago. And that's something else that's happened over the course of the last month. The price of everything has gone up. All the food has gone up, 25 cents here, 50 cents there. Your fountain drinks have gone up a little bit. They've done just this across the board price increase on food, which is, a quarter here. Not a huge deal, but
yeah, again, in the aggregate, it kind of makes a big difference.
Yep.
And this is the way the world is going right now.
Right.
Everything is rising in price. So Disney wanted to get on that bandwagon, I guess.
they got the memo. They were like, wait, everyone else, we can do this?
Yes.
Oh, let's go for it.
Your eggs are $10 for a dozen? Let's do this.
And then at the board, I always imagined board meetings, and at the board meeting, they're like, what should we raise prices on? Everything.
Hooray.
Let's
And then they have party poppers going off in their boardroom. Confetti.
Okay, next up is resort parking. Resort parking. So if you're staying at one of the hotels, the price is increased for parking your vehicle there. Self-serve parking at the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels went up from $30 to $35. And if you want to valet your car, if you're bougie like that, $65 to valet. Holy cow.
I know.
It's a lot of money for
Per
a
day.
parking
That's
spot.
per day.
It's for just a little square of asphalt for a day. So those are more expensive. And then the cost of preferred pricing in the parking garages, the parking lots.
Or Toy Story, right?
Went up to $50. Preferred parking is just closer to where you need to be.
Right.
So,
the trams or the buses or whatever.
Right. So is it worth it? For some people, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with schlepping myself across the parking lot to save $20. But so those are the price increases for services and things like.
What about regular parking at the parking garage?
Regular parking at the parking garage stayed the same. It's
okay,
30.
good. Okay.
It's still 30, which is still.
But they had just raised that not too long ago.
Right. I think they raised it when everything reopened.
Got it.
I think because it used to be 25.
Okay.
Okay, now let's talk about some of the souvenirs that you might need to take home with you. Some specific ones. I'm sure souvenir prices probably raised across the board. Oh, actually, shoulder pets.
Oh.
I saw someone mention that shoulder pets went up $5.
And mini headbands.
And mini headbands went up $5. So they were $29.99. They're now $34.99. And shoulder pets, I think, went up to $24.99. They used to be $19.
Wow.
You're going to need to get one this week, though.
A shoulder pet? I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can find one.
Jiminy
DC.
Cricket.
Okay, that's the one you're shooting for.
I vote for Jiminy Cricket, or what was the other new one?
Sebastian.
Sebastian's cute, but I really like Jiminy Cricket because he's your conscience.
That's right.
Sitting on your shoulder.
Jack needs that.
Jack, I know you're already home when you hear this, but I'm sending you the Jiminy Cricket vibes.
That's funny. And then some of the bigger souvenirs that you might want are the droids from Droid Depot and the lightsabers from
Savvy's Workshop.
Savvy's Workshop. Thank you. My mind went blank. And those went up by quite a bit, $20 each.
$20 for the droids. So the droids used to be $99.99. They are now $119.99. And Savvy's went up $30 because it was $219, I think, prior to the price raise, and now they're $249.99.
So that's a big jump.
It's a big
on
jump.
those. I mean, you're already dropping a good amount on those bigger souvenirs, but that's a big price increase. Anyway,
It is.
That's that.
That's that. So prices, just know that, and here's the thing, okay? So if you have a family of 5 and you are going for 4 days, you know, your 4-day ticket went from being, let me look at this. Let's look at this. Let's do a little quick, let's see how good Erin is at quick math. Okay, so if you were headed to the parks and you have a family of 5 and you were going for 4 days, that's a $35 price increase for a 4-day ticket is what they did. A $35 base price.
Per person.
Per person. So $35 times 5 people is $175.
I'm going to get my calculator out just in case.
35 times 5. I think that's 175.
Yes.
Oh, look at Erin.
Good job.
I'm so smart. But $175. And that's just to get you in the door. You've just increased your budget by $175. Okay. And then let's say you want to get Genie Plus for everybody for every day. That's $5 per day per person. So $25 times 4 is $100 more there. So we're at almost $300 more than what you were at the day before. It's budget busting. It really is.
Yeah. And now we're adding in individual lightning lanes.
Right.
So let's say you all wanted to do Rise.
One time, $25 more for that than what you were planning because it was, you know, it's a $5
Right.
increase. So that's $300 right there,
Right.
just for that.
And then let's say you do a character breakfast. And it's, you know, $5 more per person.
Yeah.
That's another $25 onto your bill there.
Yep.
And let's say 2 of your kids want to build a droid. There's another $40.
$40.
And one
so-
of your kids does a lightsaber. That's another 30.
Another 40.
40. So, I mean, we're looking at close to $500
Right.
extra.
Right. For the
that you
same
weren't-
thing you were already planning on doing that now you need to change. So again, like I said in the beginning, be upset about it. And there's no solution, right? We can't change it. We can't, nobody's listening to us be upset about it.
Right.
And people are still going.
Yes.
So, and I mean, that's probably the best way to show that you're upset about it is for people to not go, but people
not
are
gonna
still
happen.
going.
Right.
Right. So take your day. Feel really sorry for yourself.
Yes.
We actually had, I shared on Instagram yesterday, I asked a question because we're planning out our rest of the year for our episodes. And I asked, you know, what would you like to hear episodes on? And one person said, the price increases, I can't afford to take my family anymore. And it's getting to that point. And, you know, we did an episode a little while back on how you can save some money. And you don't need all of this.
No.
I think
You need the tickets. That's pretty much the only thing you need. And,
You need the
and
tickets.
a place to stay.
a place to stay in patience pants.
Uh-huh.
And you don't need all of the extras. I think we are very programmed, especially at Disney, to need all of the extras.
Right.
You don't need them.
No.
If it's the difference between going and not going, go. And don't need all the extras. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You
Yeah.
can bring your own food in. Disney is very non-discriminatory when it comes to you bringing your own food in.
Which, to be honest, I'm shocked. Like, that's something that really continually surprises. I will
Right.
never not be surprised by that.
because other theme parks are not so lenient.
No. And especially where you're looking at a park that has increased the price of everything in the last little bit. I hope nobody's listening to this. It's important. But really, you know, like, they're not. Let's not kid ourselves.
And it's not like they haven't thought of this already.
Right.
There must be a reason that they're okay with it.
Yeah. And they let you bring your own food in. So bring your own food in. Plan a meal or two, you know, so that you have the experience.
Right. But it's not necessary.
No. But like Animation Academy, one of my favorite places to spend some time, it's free once you're in the park.
Part of your park admission.
Right.
Yes.
That's a better way to say
Yes.
it. It's not free, guys. It's part of your park admission. You
Yes.
can go in. There's so many great things that you can do without building lightsabers, building droids, having
Yes.
character meals. These are all upcharges. And aside from the tickets, everything else is just...
Everything's included. They're not going to, I was going to say, they're not going to charge you for every ride. Just 2 of them.
And you can still try stand by there.
and you can still just stand in line for those.
You might wait a minute.
Yes.
But anyway...
You can still have an amazing magical vacation without all the extras is what we're
Yes.
trying to say.
Yes.
And you can still make it slightly budget friendly.
Yes, and there's ways to mitigate these price increases. We've talked about buying gift cards at Target with a Target card. We've talked about, I don't know, we've talked about a couple different things in our episode where we talked about saving money. There's ways to kind of hopefully absorb some of these price increases.
And free souvenirs that you can get.
Yeah.
Right? Buttons. What else? What else?
You're
is
drawing
free?
from the Animation Academy.
The pressed pennies are super cheap. So there are ways to do this.
Still, it's still attainable.
Yes.
It's just a little bit harder.
Or just plan on saving a little bit more for your trip.
Yeah.
Like you do you. Figure out what works best for your family and hopefully
Bump it
you can
out
make it
6
happen.
months.
Yeah.
And cross your fingers
Yeah,
so they don't
right,
increase the
right.
prices again in that 6 months.
They should.
Anyway, it's kind of a heavy episode. I didn't mean for it to be that way.
We just want you to be prepared. And that's what we're here for, right? Is to help you prepare for your trip.
And money is not my favorite thing to talk about. It's
No.
hard, and it's hard for a lot of people, and I get that totally. And I have total empathy for people who are really just scrimping and saving to make this happen, and then to have this is kind of a blow. So,
But reach out to us if you need more ideas for saving.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to help.
yep, for sure.
Okay. I think that's it, right?
I do too.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram. We just did a big giveaway.
Yes.
And we will have more giveaways in the future.
We will. And if you have not already subscribed to the podcast, please click the subscribe button and then give us a rating and review. And maybe don't rate us today. Maybe today is not the best day to rate us since this was kind of a heavy downer episode. Maybe wait till next week when we're a little perkier.
Right. Unless you're a masochist and you just love sad stuff.
And then just go ahead and give us that great rating.
Right. We are at Ropedrop.Parkhop on Instagram and Facebook. And thank you for all of your reviews so far.
Yes.
We love reading them.
Yes.
You guys
We
are
wish we
awesome.
could reply. We were just talking
I
about that today.
know.
We wish we could say thank you to each of you and reply to the cute things that you say, which is one of the reasons we like to read them.
Yes. Some of them make me cry.
They're very sweet.
I love them. Okay. See you guys next week.
Bye.